What is up, humans of the cardboard? Welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Today I've got a deck profile for you. This time we are revisiting Salamangreats. The 2021 ban list is out for June 1st, or July 1st, sorry. And Mirage STALLIO is back at 1. Now I don't think this is the biggest, boost for Salamangreats, but I do think it's really nice, and it does give them a nice another option. I also haven't updated Salamangreats in a while, and I think what better time than exactly now while we have the Mirage STALLIO back, because this is a cool deck. I always liked the way this deck played. I just didn't like it when every other player you were playing against in the meta was playing it. So now that it's like a rogue deck, I'm much more interested. So also, by the way, if you think this mat below my cards looks dope, it is Ecclesia staring down the Golgonda, the Sand Serpent, and on the other side, it's her backed up by the Stigmata Dragon. It's beautiful. There's also other colors where it's like white with either like red lining or black lining, which is really cool. So if you want to pick it up, I'll leave a link in the description and a code that through me will get you 10% off. Shout out to my boy Charles from Team COG. Check him out as well if you like, Crusadia, Infernoble Knight, and or I don't know, I guess right now he's doing some cool Utopia builds as well. So check him out if you'd like. And then without further ado, let's just jump into this deck profile. All right, so first off, Salamangreat lineup. Super basic here. Start off with the Gazelle. It's only at 1, so we only play 1. Then we play triple Spinny. This is new. Double Jack Jaguar. That's new. Double Foxy, kind of new, and then 1 Falco. This isn't the most crazy lineup of all time, but I have bumped Spinny up to 3, and that's basically because Mirage STALLIO. Mirage STALLIO makes Spinny so much better. Hard opening it is way better because it's a level 3 extender. It more consistently is just getting you into the Mirage STALLIO, and the cool thing about it is you make Mirage STALLIO with this, and this doesn't get banished when it leaves the field. It just ends up back in grave, which means you can just use it as a free another extender on the following turn. Other than that, Jack Jaguar is great. He's a pseudo-normal summon. Same thing with Foxy, but you also have to just play 1 Foxy. I'm playing 2 because, again, it kind of facilitates Spinny. Open this plus Spinny, it's another level 3, whereas most of the other, like Jack and Falco, are both level 4, so I like having access to the level 3 package there. And he just pops face-up spell and traps, which is nice. And then Falco, you have to play Falco. This card's so good. Once you start rotating this, like, you know the duel's over. You're just getting so much advantage back, like, every single turn. Like, you just can't lose. So, pretty concise engine. What is it, 9 monsters? Yeah, 9 Salamangreat monsters. Nothing too insanely wild there. Then for our, like, pseudo Salamangreat cards, double Lady Debug and double Flame Buffalo. I like playing 2 and 2 because Debug loses to certain things, whereas Buffalo does not. Imperm seems to be pretty popular in the format. Again, same thing with like Effect Veiler seems to be a little bit popular. So Buffalo activates in grave, so he's not weak to those, but he is weak to stuff like Skullmeister potentially. But still, they're both really good. They're both starters. I felt like 3 and 3 was going to be a little bit overkill, especially since I am playing like double Foxy as a pseudo-normal summon, Jack is a pseudo-normal summon, and Gazelle's always a pseudo-normal summon as well. So 2 and 2 felt really good to me, and they help get you to Gazelle and some of your other Salamangreat cards. That is it for the like actual monsters. For the hand trap monsters, we've got triple Ash Blossom, double Bell, double Meister. Nothing too crazy here. We're also playing in Perm. I'll just say that now, just so you know. There's 10 hand traps in total, which is a pretty good number for me. These are my personal favorites. I'd side Droll and probably Nib, but maybe Lancia. I'd look at Lancia as well. But I like these guys. I like the more mid-range hand traps to keep in the main. It just feels like they're good versus more stuff. Everything uses the graveyard, so both of these are really strong. This negates Nadir Servants. You have 5 cards that say no to Nadir, which is really good. And yeah, it's pretty good. So hand traps, and then of course Ash and Salamangreats is insane. You cannot forget the fact that that Sunlight Wolf adds back Ash Blossom. It's insane. Then we get to our spell lineup. Of course, the Sanctuary for the first Salamangreat card. Have to play it. It's just a mandatory part of the engine. For search cards, we've got 3 Signet Mining and the Circle. Nothing too crazy there. You just got to keep in mind, like, even if you play a condensed Salamangreat engine, that you have 3 of this, one of this. And then we also have like the debugs and the flame buffalo. So we have like so many cards that help like get us to the actual Salamangreat cards. So do not worry about that. For extenders, we have 2 Will of the Salamangreat and 1 Monster Reborn. You could decide to play 3 of this, but I'm just playing 2 and 1 just because these are like so redundant. If you ever have 2 of this, it feels like really just awkward. So I like just playing the 2 and then the Reborn just so you can use both in the same turn. These help you play through Nibiru. It's pretty good. Whoa. All right, clicked on something. My fault. All right, moving on. Draw a card, triple desires. I mean, it's just desires and Salamangreat. It's nothing too crazy. We're trying to draw 2 always. Yeah, the +1's really nice. And then the last spell is Called by the Grave. You could try and play something like Harpy's Feather Duster if you want. Drop something simple. Drop the Reborn. Drop the Call. Drop a 3rd Desires if you want. Whatever. If you want to play something like that. But the deck already has inherent outs to stuff like Mystic Mine and Floodgates anyway, so it's not the biggest deal. Then, that is it for the spells, moving us to our trap lineup. For the trap lineup, I'm on double Salamangreat Rage, 1 Salamangreat Roar. So for me, with this, with Desires, I like playing the double Rage because to me, Rage is better than Roar right now. You just need 1 to survive. And opening 1 is fine because if you open 1 of this, that means you just dump the Roar and get the Roar instead, so you end on both. So playing multiples of them is not bad at all. I almost would consider siding more copies of them, just because opening them when you know you're going first post-side is actually pretty good. But just playing this because I want Rage. I think Rage is right now is better than Roar, so I just want this to like survive Desires. So 2 of that. I think 3 is overkill though. It's searchable. It's a hard once per turn. Like, so 3 just seems like a little bit much. And then finishing up the list, obviously we talked about Imperm and how it is your 8th, 9th, and 10th copies of Hand Traps, which is really nice. And then Solemn Strike. I think this was just like an open slot. You could look at something like potentially Parallel Exceed. You could look at something like 2 more Hand Traps. You could just play the 3rd Bell and the 3rd Meister or whatever. Play 2 Drawl, 2 Nib, 2 Lancia. Whatever you want to play as like utility cards, Cosmic Cyclone, like I said, the Harpy's Feather Duster, literally whatever. I just wanted something a little more defensive, a little more powerful there. So Strike felt pretty right to me. So that's it for the main. 40 cards in the main. This shouldn't be anything too crazy. This is about what I felt. I think like the big changes are just like maxing out on Spinny, wanting to revolve the deck more around Spinny than it has been, just because that gets you to Mirage Stallio, and he's actually really good. So, all right, then we move to the extra deck. Pretty standard stuff starting off. Triple Balinks, gotta play triple. You don't play double. Triple Sunlight Wolf, gotta play triple. And then double Heatlio. We've been in like fairly back row heavy format for the last couple months, and I don't think that'll change, especially since like the decks that just got hit on the new ban list are like Dinos, and Dragon Link. Like those are like Zodiac too, but I think Pure Tri-Brigade will still be around. So there's just like a ton of back row decks. So Heatlio I think is a definite must-have. He's very, very powerful. I think he's been underrated for a long time. Players totally forget about Heatlio, and then you just like spin like 2 cards, and they're just like, fuck, it's crazy. Obviously the 1 Mirage Stallio, it's only at 1. I might consider 2 if it was at 2, but for now, 1 is perfectly fine. Special summoning straight from deck, and then when it's used as link material for a Salamangreat monster, you can just target any monster on the field and return it to the hand. That's so good, especially because it's when it's linked off. So it's not even on the field, so if they negate it, they're just wasting a negate on a card that's like already been used for material for something else. Very awesome. And then we finish up with like kind of just like the generic good links that I think you probably need to play. 1 Lingaribo, I love this card, especially like I said, we're already in like a more like back row heavy format. So this card's so nice to help you play through things. If you have an extra extender, they may be waiting for you to put the right amount of cards on the field to like torrential you or whatever. And so Lingaribo really is awesome to help you at least like play into 1 back row, and then before going like Heatlio to start spinning stuff and just handling their business. One Hita. This is definitely the most flexible slot in the entire extra. I don't think this card is mandatory at all, but it's fire, so you can like do Mirage STALLIO and still get into this. Oh, that's one thing I didn't mention, by the way. Keep in mind, like Mirage STALLIO coming back for this deck is really nice, but keep in mind, after you use the effect of summon from deck, it locks you into fires only. So you cannot go up into access code. You cannot go through that line at all. And so you are locked into a few specific things. So just keep that in mind there. But this is one of the cards that does work with that quite nicely. Everybody's still playing Ash Blossom, even if there's not like a super prevalent fire deck in the meta right now. Still really cool, but maybe strikers will become more popular. Prank kids, they inherently put fires in grave pretty easily. So definitely some wiggle room there to make this card a little bit worth. Moving on to the final package. This is super standard right at this point. One Splash Mage, one Update Jammer, one Transcode, one Access Code. Very simply, you just make Splash Mage, revive a monster, make Transcode, or actually, ideally, you'd want to make Update Jammer with any other monster you had on field after you reborn with Splash Mage. Then you can take these two into Transcode, and then Transcode reborn the Update Jammer, and then take those two into Access Code. Access Code will then take 3,000 buff to 53, and he will be able to attack twice because he used Update Jammer. And you have at least 1, 2, 3, 4, because you will have used a Salamangreat monster, most likely. Like even just a Baylynx, you will have at least 4 pops, and this card is worth 10,600 damage at that point. If you didn't know how that worked, that is basically how that works. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for the deck profile. Where do I think this deck lands? I do think / hope that this deck can actually compete a little higher than it was able to before. I'm honestly kind of just hoping that this deck can actually perform more roguishly. I mean, like, it kind of already does. You see it every once in a while, but maybe we'll just see it a little more. And maybe they'll release Mirage STALLIO to 3. And maybe we'll start getting Circle back off the list more at more than just 1 copy. Who knows, right? But I do think there's only up is the only direction for this deck, really, right? Stuff will come off the ban list. We'll get other random cyber stuff. Also keep in mind, Parallel Exceed's really interesting, but like I said, Hita's like the only real wiggle spot I felt like I had in the extra deck. And if you're going to play Parallel Exceed, you probably need to play at least 2 rank 4s to make him worth it. And there was only 1 slot there after taking out that card. So just keep that in mind, you know, do what you will with that. And yeah. So that's going to do it for me here today, guys. Let me know in the comment section down below what you would change about the list. I'm just one guy. This is a kind of like a knee-jerk, like right after the ban list deck build for Salamangreats, but I'm actually excited to like look at this deck more because I do think it still has potential, and I can't wait to see really how much it has. So all right, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see more deck profiles from your boy in the future. And also don't forget about the mat. If you think it's dope and you want to pick it up, link in the description with that 10% code as well. Bye.